Hello everyone. Now we move to the final round of the Tata Steel Masters Tournament of 2024 and we'll look at a game between Wijk and Vidit Gujrathi. We had the white pieces and started with D4, D5, Knight F3 and Knight F6, E3 and C5, C3, E6, Bishop G3. This is the Colle system, Knight Bd7 and Knight Bd2. Bishop G6, castles, Rook E1, Queen C7, and now E4, breaking in the center. C takes D4 first, C takes D4, and D takes E4. Knight takes E4, and D6. We want to fianchetto the light square bishop, Bishop G5. And here there really wasn't any need to capture, but Vidit did that and he played knight into e4. This allows a rook left with rook into e4, and now the rook can transfer to the king side and gives a little something to white. We'll see that. After bishop b7, first rook c1, an in between move, queen b8, and now rook h4. f5 now, and this creates a weakness on e6, and immediately white goes bishop c4. Queen e8 defending, and queen b3 piling on. The best defense here is to actually give up that wonderful light square bishop and play bishop into f3, because this deflects the queen. Then you can play queen g6, and after bishop f4, saving that bishop, trade, and play king h8 then. Maybe the rook can come to the e file and defend that weakness. White will get some play against it certainly, but this would be the best defensive idea. However, after queen b3, Vidit played king h8 immediately, and this is different now. Rook e1 immediately. Now there's pressure, there's too much pressure. There's a triple attack on the e pawn. Bishop e4, trying to blunt one, but bishop into e6. You're down a pawn for no good reason. Queen g6, and bishop d2. Knight to f6, knight to g5. There are some threats on h7, and we'll see that. f4 is very important, and that was played because if, let's say, you try to move bishop somewhere, just a random move, you have bishop f7. This is a threat to trap that queen there, forcing rook into f7 and knight into, and then we would have a windmill. For instance, we can see that. So rook takes, knight takes, king takes, knight h6 check, and we can't go to h8 now. This is possible, and this is we'll have to come to f8 for instance, and so on and so forth. Not very pleasant. So anyway, f4 was played, but rook h7, give up the exchange. A wonderful move by white, and knight into h7 and knight into e4. So there are two pawns and a bishop for the exchange. f3, g3 preventing the checkmate, and bishop e7 saving the bishop. e5. Now it's very clear that we've cemented a bishop on e6, and the other bishop can come to c3 and target the black king. Rook a d8, queen a4 first, going after some pawns, and a5, and now queen c6. Bishop b4, bishop takes, a takes, and h4 first. Rook to a8, knight to d6, rook to a7, preventing any knight f7 ideas. Queen takes b6 and rook takes a2, queen c7 now, and knight f6. Knight f7 and king h7, knight to e5, threatening the queen, and queen goes to h6. White is completely winning in this position, there's no doubt about it. Queen c2 check, g6, and knight takes even, because you can't capture back with the queen because of bishop f5. So rook f2 a8 and knight e5 check. King to g7, and after queen to c7, Vidit resigned because the continuation is a checkmate in a few moves, and we can see it in fact. King to h8, knight f7 check, king to g7, knight h6 check, discovery from the queen. King takes and queen c1, the queen can swing across the board. Queen g7 and queen g5 check. king to h8 and queen into f6 check. King h7, and we can reroute the bishop to f5, king to g8, and even give up that bishop because it forces the king to come back to the 7th rank, and the rook comes in, and after king g8 you can play queen g7, and that would be the end of it. So after queen c7 the checkmate was inevitable and Vidit resigned. Very nice victory for VE. Well, thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon for the next game.